So I'm still racking my brain on how to get the camper up to the mountain. This is a 50-gallon drum that when I got it years ago, I was like, I want to turn this into a wood-burning stove in case I ever get a camper. I can wrap the camper in build a deck around the camper and then wrap it in plastic and have like a greenhouse. But in the dead of winter, I'm probably going to need more heat, so I need like a giant wood-burning stove. So I found one of those wood-burning stove kits you can convert a 50-gallon drum to. Getting it ready because I have this weird ability that I can see into the future. Now, the last video I put that I got my motor fixed in the car, which I did, and I did right before I moved it to the mountain, but apparently that video should have been, this next scene coming up should have been before the scene with my new motor, but I've been moving this footage around for 4 years, so it's hard to keep track of it, and the dates are weird when you set it to sort by dates on the in a folder. Anyway, but I'm only off by 8 days, so whatever. This is me just mixing lacquer. I wear the gas mask for theatrics. I promised the guy I would get this camper out of here before the snow fell, and the reason why is because if the ground freezes, trying to get this camper up on the mountain is going to be impossible. It'll be ice, it'll be slippery, it's going to be impossible to get it up there. So I'm trying to beat the snow for more than one reason. It's getting cold, there's been a couple flurries. The battery died in my GoPro. What I was saying was, in order to make this happen, I have to fix my car, get 3 new tires at least for this trailer, this camper, get the title, get it in my name, get it inspected, get plates. He has to run a heavy-duty lawnmower to clear it out because it hasn't been mowed in like years, 4 or 5 years. It's undeveloped land, but he's fixed it up to where he can have a camper on there. So I'm going to put my camper on there, but it's going to take some work, and I need to do this in a month, so I don't have to pay this guy where I have it now another $50 to keep it for another month. And if I go over, I'm only going to be over a week, and then I'm moving out of here, and then I paid for another month. So I'm just wasting that money. So this overtime will help with the car. And then it'll help a little bit with the tires and stuff. I could probably, because it's going to take him a while to fix the car, and I won't pay him until after the car is fixed. So I could probably spend money, this Friday's paycheck, I could probably spend getting this camper legal to move and go rent, or go up there when he rents a lawnmower, clear it all out, put my plants and trees and stuff up there, and then I guess move the camper up there. But I won't have a way to get back and forth, so I won't have anywhere to sleep. I can't sleep in my car because my car will be in the shop. I'll have to sleep at work, I guess. And Spooky's gonna have to figure something out. She's gonna have to learn some independence. I want the entire room to look like it's plywood, so I got some veneer to kind of wallpaper the rest of the walls to match that one wall that I replaced with plywood. I shouldn't have used wood glue, that was stupid, and I still have to figure out how to fix that. I couldn't afford new tires, so I got an air compressor just to air up the other tires. I only got the 2 aired up because the cheap Chinese crap burned out on the 2 tires. Even though the motor in my car was brand new, I didn't trust it, and I was really nervous, so I had my employer, my boss, pull it up there with his. So I'm driving mine, leading him up there. If you look out of my back window, you can see him pulling my camper. I probably paid more attention to the rearview mirror than I did the street in front of me because I was so nervous. This was a white knuckle ride. I was so scared he was going to hit something, or it was going to come loose, or like, anything bad that's going to happen, it happens to me. So this was him blocking traffic. He could only go up the mountain about 15 miles an hour. Once we got to my spot, well, his brakes were smoking. You can see the smoke there. It looked like he just traveled through time. But I was so tense from the ride. The driver's seat had bite marks in it from my butt cheeks. We tried to get it up to my spot, but it was too muddy and too wet, so we parked it down by the campground, and I think I slept there for like 2 nights before Leon came up and towed it the rest of the way with his cherry bomb. That's what we call his truck behind his back. And it was finally sinking in, it was finally settling in my mind that this is where I was going to be. This was my new, more or less my new home, at least on the weekends. But it was going to be nice. Like, I was picturing me being up here rather than in Pittsburgh, surrounded by Yinzer River Hicks who work crappy jobs and are all bitter because of it, and then they go home and eat bland food and then go to the bar and scream at the TV if there's sports on and get drunk, and then they go home and make other miserable people so they can raise them in a state that has almost no sunlight. Now, one thing I didn't think about was, well, I did kind of think about it, was where Spooky was going to be. Because my camper was up here, just because I'm in a pickle and I had to put it somewhere. And I was still working in Pittsburgh, but I didn't know what I was going to do with Spooky. Obviously, she can't be at work, even though my employers have what they call office cats. By no means would I expect them to put my cat in there. And Spooky doesn't get along with others. Anyway, so I put Spooky in the camper, and she became my mountain cat, my mountain lion. And I would go up on Wednesdays and stay the night and feed her and give her attention, and then I would go up on Fridays and stay the weekend. And at this point, so this project was so stressful and so just stressful. It was so stressful that I was kind of neglecting Spooky, and I'd be rude to Spooky, and Spooky would really annoy me at sometimes. And every now and then I'd feel bad because I know she's just my cat, and I have her, and she's mine, and I should be, giving her love. But I was just so irritated with my situation and fed up and just aggravated with everything that I wouldn't take it out on her, but I was like, don't worry, Spooky, as soon as I get everything right, I'm going to love you like a good owner, and everything will be awesome, and we'll be awesome together. But she would want attention, and I'd be off work, and I'd be stressing out, and I wouldn't be mean to her, but there was just sometimes where I felt bad because I was like, just leave me alone, Spooky. I gotta figure stuff out, and you're bothering me. That was a long time ago, but I do remember having feelings like that, and there was a phase where I was just like mean. So because it's so muddy, Leon was sure he could pull it up there, but because it's so muddy, so in the spring it rains constantly for like 3 months, and in the fall apparently it does it too. You can see the mud on the roads. But I tried to use 2x4s to give it something straight, but we just couldn't get it up there. So he had one of the neighbors bring an excavator, and so the plan is Leon will pull it, and the excavator will be chained to the front of Leon's truck, the cherry bomber, and we'll pull it. The excavator will pull the truck, and the truck will pull the camper. And this is what me and my employer tried, but it was just too wet, and we didn't have the excavator. It didn't even occur to me that there was an excavator available. So we hooked it up with him, and you see there, so we hook it to the bucket, he backs up, pulls the chain tight, and then he stops and pulls the bucket forward, which then pulls Leon's truck. Yeah, see, so he's pulling it in, and it pulls Leon up. And we had it, and that's just one thing. So he would back up, then he'd pull Leon forward, and then I would block the tires so Leon wouldn't slide backwards. And then the guy would back his excavator up and extend his arm. And then I'd hook the chain to it again, and he would pull it forward, just like that. And then I'd block the tires, he'd extend his arm, back up, I'd rehook the chain on it, unblock the tires, he'd pull it forward. I don't remember how long this process took. Probably an hour, maybe even more than that. And the whole time I'm just so nervous that something's gonna happen. You know, when you got a project and you're like, you don't care what happens, like you'll break your fingers to get it done. But the people that are helping you, you're worried that they're just gonna be like, oh, this is impossible, let's quit. And then like, you know, you don't want people to give up because you don't want it, because you can't give up. Like, you don't have any more options. I don't have any more options. So that was always going through my head, like, oh, Leon's gonna give up, or this guy's gonna give up. The guy that's in the excavator is actually the guy that owns that's the son of the guy that owns the shop that put the new motor in my Xterra. So I don't really know the guy. Leon knows him. Leon's known him since he was in diapers. But I was really happy he fixed my car, so I didn't want to ask him for any more favors, but Leon's not shy in that way. I offered to pay him, but he wouldn't take it. And apparently he knew exactly what to do, so apparently this is a mountain thing where they do this like all the time. Yeah, here's a good shot. You can see him pull. You see Leon's tires spinning. Yeah, but anyway, apparently they do this all the time because they had a system. They knew that, like, him and Leon didn't even have to talk. They just knew what to do. So I don't know if this is something they do like every other weekend. Drink some beers and pull stuff around. It's funny because on the mountain there's like no codes, or there's nobody to like babysit you or tell you not to do something. It's kind of like, it's like, whatever you want to do, if you want to try it, you know, nobody's going to stop you. The law of the mountain. I guess there's so many people on the mountain that have like missing fingers and limbs from things that experiments that didn't go so well. And we just about got it, the ground's level. Now if you ask Leon about this, he'll tell you that he pulled the camper up, and he pulled the camper up with his truck while pushing the excavator. It's funny how different things are when you look through somebody else's eyes. I wouldn't mind looking through Leon's eyes just for like 5 minutes to see what the world looks like. I'm sure it's vastly different from what I see. And this is one final tug. We're taking it around the bend and put on the flat spot right next to the... He told me there's a septic up there, and I picked the direction. He wanted me to have it going the other way, but I wanted the window to look out over the valley rather than look into the side of the hill. That would be boring. Leon said I would freeze to death if I did it this way, but I wanted a good view. You want to see something funny? I'm in my kitchen, right?
That's true. Smith,
see my breath?
You and your grunts are now stealing my gigs. I like that. I figured Black Force guys will be busy installing a dictatorship or...
See my breath now? It's that much of a difference between standing up and sitting down. You know what? I did it. It took me all summer, but I did what I set out to do. I got here before the snow. That was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life from start to finish. It was a real coming of age for me. It taught me, I felt like a man now. Like I now know what I am capable of. If I just put my mind to it and don't give up. And at no point did I ever feel like giving up. I had to keep pushing. There was no quitting. There was no option. If I quit, I'd lose my house. So it was just, that wasn't an option for me. Yep, that's a smug look on my face. Feeling pretty good about myself. I grew up in Illinois, which is flat. I think the only place flatter than Illinois is the ocean. So I wasn't used to being in mountains, although these are technically foothills. The Allegheny Mountain Range used to be the highest mountain range on planet Earth until the Yinzer River Hicks stamped it down in the foothills over a millennia. But I'm going to see what it's like to be on the mountain, especially in the winter. This should be a new adventure. Who's adulting now, you couch-surfing, condescending prick? I'm feeling pretty good about myself. Actually, I don't know what I'm going to do with all this time on my hands, all this free time. I'm already getting bored. I need a new project. If you enjoy following me on my adventures, please make a donation on GoFundMe or become a patron. Each donation you make allows me to produce more videos and keeps me out of your home. Your funding reality. Links are in the video description below.